I can only imagine what my eyes will see when you face.
About 15 years ago, I was sitting in my house in Mesquite, reading the Sunday paper, when suddenly I felt something hard and pointy floating around on my tongue. When I spit it out, it was a tooth. Wow, I thought, how odd for a tooth to just fall out by itself. But it was from the back, so I wasn't concerned. I went about my business, which at the time was doing methamphetamines. I was introduced to meth at 24. I had just left my husband, had 3 little kids on my own, and I was overwhelmed. A friend introduced me to meth, saying, "It'll give you the energy that I needed." In the beginning, meth was amazing. I could snort a little, multitask like hell. My house was immaculate, and since meth cranked up my metabolism, I lost weight. What's not to like about that? Somehow, even as a meth addict, I was functional. Always had a job. Not that I was a model employee. More than once, I locked my office door to snort meth off my desk. And then there was the issue of my teeth. It's called meth mouth. Meth stops your mouth from making saliva, which protects your teeth. My mouth was dry like a desert. It also caused me to clench and grind. My teeth weren't in great shape to begin with. When you're busy doing meth, dental hygiene isn't exactly a priority. I already had this thing called a flipper, a retainer with 2 fake teeth on it, including a front tooth that I lost in a fight. One day, the front tooth broke off. That was when I found super glue. I super glued the front tooth back onto my flipper. And every time it fell off, I did it again. The fumes made my nose burn, my eyes water, and it made me nauseous. But after a few minutes, all that passed, and my tooth was fixed. Super glue, don't leave home without it. As years passed, my teeth got worse. Some cracked off, leaving stubs. Another front tooth fell off. I've always been a big laugher, and once my teeth went bad, I started covering my mouth with my hand. I wanted my teeth fixed so bad. I had Medicaid dental coverage, and I'd make appointments, but I'd no-show or I'd cancel. With all the energy meth gives you, you still never really get things done right. Instead of going to the dentist, I might have been scrubbing my kitchen floor with a toothbrush, trimming my hedges with scissors, or even once I was watering fake flowers. One day, high as a kite, I thought, I'll just make my own teeth. How hard can it be? I brainstormed. Looking at my fingernails, I thought, I'll make teeth out of fake fingernails. I cut the nails to look like teeth, and then I took temporary teeth filler and stuck it up against my nubs for thickness. On top of that, I super glued the nails. Then I applied clear nail polish. The next morning, a little filing, a little buffing. I looked in the mirror and thought, wow, these look great. Of course, they didn't look great. They looked hideous. My fake teeth were oversized and too thick. My top lip stuck way out, and I looked like a beaver on meth. There were some hazards. I often superglued my upper lip to my fake teeth and had to use a nail file to pry it loose. The super glue infected my face. I'd swell up like a golf ball stuck in my cheek. When the ER doctors asked what happened, I'd say, I have a toothache. Ironic considering I had no teeth. But years went by and I'd often be in the mirror someplace, super glue in hand, fixing my fake fingernail teeth. It became a ritual, and addicts love rituals. By 2003, my meth habit had gotten so bad, easily over $100 a day, I started selling, and the police were watching. I was soon arrested for possession. While most addicts who go to jail worried about smuggling in drugs, my biggest concern was how was I going to smuggle in my super glue? I was given the option of rehab, and I went. For my kids, I wanted to get clean. In rehab, I was introduced to Attitudes Attire. It's a nonprofit in Dallas that provides job training and workshops as well as clothing for interviews. Noticing my teeth, they said they were working on getting a dental program. When I got out of rehab, I stayed clean for 1 year, but I didn't do what was necessary. I stopped going to 12-step meetings, started hanging out with the wrong people, and soon relapsed. By then, I was smoking my meth and sometimes swallowing it. Because I knew I'd test positive for drugs, I stopped showing up for probation, which led to a warrant. After doing meth so long, I'd gotten very, very paranoid. I'd peek through blinds and look over my shoulder constantly. When I drove, I spent so much time in the rearview mirror, I hardly had time to look ahead. I knew sooner or later I'd be arrested. So when the police pulled me over at 3 a.m., a little over 10 years ago, I was actually relieved. This time, I was 100% ready to get clean. I had grandchildren, and I had taken my grandson to see Santa while I was high. I could not hate myself more after that, and I wanted out. I went back to treatment, did everything I was told. I refused weekend passes. I read and studied every piece of literature that was provided. I dug deep down inside to find out what was broken, and I fixed it. When I got out, I went to live at a sober house. I also went to Attitudes Attire again with their dental program called Hopeful Smiles. They offered help to me. At my first dental appointment, the dentist saw my beaver teeth and gave me great credit for my creativity. Finally, the day came of my first surgery. They removed what was left of my teeth, scraped years of super glue out of my gums and the sockets where my teeth once were. While I was under anesthesia, the surgeon installed my new teeth. When I woke up, I had a brand new, complete smile. Beautiful, straight, and white. My face looked so different, and I wept like a baby. Having my smile back, being able to laugh, and not worry about covering my mouth changed everything. My self-confidence skyrocketed. With my new teeth, I went back to school because suddenly, without fear, I could stand up and speak in class. I am now clean 10 years. I'm close to becoming a licensed chemical dependency counselor. Through Hopeful Smiles, I help other former addicts to get their smile back. Shortly after I got my new teeth, I wanted to show my kids, so I invited them over. They could not stop staring. In my front yard, we took a family photo with the new me. I can see a real difference, my oldest son said. I know you mean it this time. I smiled so big, I wasn't looking through the rearview mirror anymore. I was looking forward, and I could not be more grateful for this smile.